Alrighty, hello Desert Breeze kids and families. I hope this online lesson finds you well. Well, we are beginning a new series and a new curriculum actually. It's going to be called the Gospel Project. So that is what we're going to be basing our lessons off, and we are going to be starting at the very beginning. Genesis. Actually, Genesis means beginning. So we are going to be diving into the creation of the world, which is our theme of how God created the world. That's our kind of our overall arching thought for this time is God created the world. Now let's jump into our verse for today, our theme verse, which is from Psalms 19:1. Psalms 19:1, and it says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the skies above proclaim His handiwork." Psalms 19:1. Now, you may know a lot about the Bible. You may say, well, I don't know much about the Bible, but that's okay, because this is where we are going to be jumping into and seeing how this beginning connects through the whole Bible of how it points to God's plan, His redemption story. So we're going to be jumping into that today with the very beginning. Alrighty, so for today, our big question is, why did God create everything? Well, He created everything for His glory and for our good. Once again, why did He create everything? Well, He created everything for His glory and for our good. As we dive into the passage today, you can begin to flip in Genesis chapter 1. That's where we'll be for our Bible story today. Follow along and see how each thing that is created. First is it's created by God, and also it's created for our good. So it's created to bring God glory, and it's for our good. So as we read, follow along with us and see how that is. So Genesis 1.
In the beginning, nothing existed except for God. God created the heavens and the earth. The earth had no shape, and darkness covered the earth. The Spirit of God was there, hovering over the waters. God spoke, "Let there be light." What God said happened. God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and He called the darkness night. Evening came, and then morning came. That was the first day. God spoke again. "Let there be a space between the waters to separate them." What God said happened. He made a space between the water that was on the earth and the water above the earth. God called the space sky. Evening came, and then morning came. That was the second day. God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear." What God said happened. God called the dry land earth, and He called the gathered water seas. God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth make plants and trees with fruits and seeds." What God said happened. Plants and trees grew according to their kinds, and God saw that it was good. Evening came, and then morning came. That was the third day. Next, God placed lights in the sky. God created the sun to shine during the day and the moon and stars to shine at night. God gave us lights to shine on the earth to separate day from night and to help us track time in days and years. God saw that it was good. Evening came, and then morning came. That was the fourth day. Next, God made creatures that move and swim in the water. He made birds to flap their wings and soar across the sky. God saw that it was good. God told the animals to multiply, and they filled the seas and the sky. Evening came, and then morning came. That was the fifth day. Then God made more animals, livestock, creatures that crawl, and wildlife to live on the earth according to their kinds. When God said it, it happened. And God saw that all of it was good. Jesus is Lord over all of creation. The Son has always existed. The Bible says everything was created by Him and for Him, and He holds everything together. All of creation exists to bring God glory.
Jesus is the Lord over all creation. And the Son has always existed. Jesus has always existed. The Bible says that everything was created by him and for him. And he holds everything together. All creation exists to bring God glory. Now, as we jump into today, this was an incredible story. And I'm wondering, have you ever looked around and just seen, wow, look how awesome God created those trees, those different colored rocks, those different funny looking animals. God created everything. And the Bible tells us once again that he created everything for his glory and for his good. Now, there was some of God's creation that when we were reading about it that had it all in common. Do you remember the phrase that I kept saying again? It was good. So once again, sin had not entered the world yet. Sin is when we miss the mark or make mistakes. No, nothing wrong had happened, and God intended for this world to be perfect good. However, we'll find out, because one of the things that wasn't mentioned in creation, do you know what that was? The masterpiece of creation? Yeah, we hadn't talked about God making humans yet, or people. Once again, we'll get over into that more in the coming weeks. But let's first remember that why did God create the world? Well, for his glory and for our good. Now let's jump into the questions for today. Now, for the questions, it's going to be a little bit different. Remember to pause the video whenever you need to. But what's going to happen is I'm going to ask a question, talk about it with your family, friends, or even write down your answers, and then I'm going to give you a verse to look up in the Bible. So remember, question, talk about it, and then look it up in the Bible. Okay? So first question is, how do we know there is a God? And then the verse to follow up with that is read Romans 1:20. Next question. If you were to create a new world, what would it be like? How would you create it? Time to use your creative thinking. Once you're done with that, read Revelations 21:5. Next, in what ways are we like God the Creator? But how are we different from him? I want you to read Exodus 35:31 through 32. All right, guys. So we're going to jump in to our memory verse for today. All right, our verse for these next couple of weeks are from Psalms 19:1. It says, "The heavens declare the glory of the Lord, and the sky above proclaims his handiwork." Psalms 19:1. Once again, Psalms 19:1. "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaim his handiwork." Psalms 19:1.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, and Job. Psalms and Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, and Hosea. Joel and Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah,